Greetings, I'm Mike Pachelli, and for this lesson on the fundamentals of intermediate guitar, I'd like to talk about what it means to swing. You'll hear certain players that just seem to be able to bop along, and I'm not just talking about jazz, I'm talking about country or rock, but that feel-good thing that's happening, the non-stiff playing, is usually because the guy knows how to, or girl knows how to swing, sometimes just naturally. But if we would break down what it means to swing is when you play eighth notes, they could either be strict eighths, which would sound very stiff, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, or swing eighths. Now the difference is with regular eighth notes, it's just simply 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But with swing eighths, it's like the first and third notes of eighth note triplets. Eighth note triplets are 1 tut-tut, 2 tut-tut, 3 tut-tut, 4 tut-tut. So you play the first and third of each eighth note triplet. So 1 tut-2, tut-3, tut-4, tut-5, like that. I'm exaggerating the point because it's not quite even that strict. It's somewhere in the middle. But it's just instead of strictly 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and bop, 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 bop. Instead of. Got it? Now the other thing is to try to feel lines on the upbeat. We can take a simple line. If we think of the downbeat and play only on the downbeat, like I'll tap my foot. I think you can hear that. If I tap just, or if I play just on those downbeats, I got. Sounds pretty, boring and just non-swinging. If I think of the tapping as the upbeat, right, and I'll think of that as the upbeat. Now I'll play the same line. See how that swings? Now I'll go back to the downbeat. See. But if I make it the upbeat, get the idea? Now, how can you easily apply that? Sometimes it's just a matter of, instead of starting a line that you already have learned or practiced on the downbeat, start it an eighth note later. So just, again, you have the band's playing or the groove's going, and you usually play something like, just start that same thing on an upbeat. 1, and it has a little more swing because you're accenting the upbeats instead of the downbeat. That's basically what it is. Just don't always accent the downbeat. Accent the upbeat. And start familiar lines on the upbeat. See, 3, 4. Again, I'm tapping and just feeling the upbeat. Okay? It's the same thing with chords. If you're going to play some chords, don't always just think of them strictly on the downbeat. It's not always like. It could be. Immediately has a little more. Well, the upbeats are uplifting, and that creates the swing. You can also kind of, like almost trick yourself into swinging by having little key phrases that get you, on the road to swinging. One that I like a lot is if I'm in the key of A, just thinking about root, ninth, and the major seventh. Those notes. Right? And I'll play it kind of like a little pickup. Right? So I'm on the D string, and I'm going fret 7 to 9, 6, 7. A little triple like. Play it really slow. A little faster. Now, if I start a line with that, it seems to, it's almost like the domino effect. You have a little starting point that swings, and you can't help but continue your idea. Same thing going down. Right? So that's a great one. I love that one. And you can repeat that on as many strings as you want to if you want to force the swing. Yeah. So having a little, I talked a little earlier on the second fundamental lesson about the pivot tone. My pivot tone right now is the tonic, A. And so you can almost, make up a song or a melody like that, Get a little crazy there, but you get the point. So when you're comping, the same thing. Maybe like in a minor key, say we're in A minor, and the groove is just, it's a normal groove, and we always want to be safe. It seems like at first you want to be, just downbeats. But there's the groove. Think upbeats. Instead of, right? It's not to say you have to completely avoid downbeats, but if you start your idea a half beat later, it's going to have a little more swing. So if you were going to just go like, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 1. Ended on pretty much on the downbeats, but I still had the kind of swing momentum, so it worked. And please also take, common lines that like, right? And a lot of times you hear people play that. Just put a little of that eighth note triplet into it, and it feels a lot better. Just accenting the upbeat. So I hope that helps. And if you have any questions or comments, please drop me a line at MikePachelli.com. It's always cool to hear from you, and I'll answer every email. So until next time, I'm Mike Pachelli, and thanks for hanging out with me.